Arisa's podcast. So we are both in our 30s. We are both doing the same thing.
Yes.
And he's also a model, actor, commercial talent. So basically we are doing the same thing. So I wanted to ask, how do you motivate yourself to keep doing whatever you want to do, even though there's no any guarantee that you can be good for this amount of money or whatever? How do you believe in yourself?
Yeah, you just have to really self-motivate yourself. So whether it's just introducing a little bit of discipline into your life, I'm going to wake up at this time and then today I'm going to be very productive and I'm going to submit a bunch of tapes where I'm going to update my portfolio or I'm going to do something that's benefits me in the long term. And it's all about putting yourself in the best position to be successful.
So keep being productive every single day and just keep doing it.
Yeah.
But I want to ask you, how do you still keep being positive and still keep believing that everything is gonna be good?
Yeah, you just
While
have to.
It's always up and down.
Yeah, I feel like when you're at your lowest, you have to just kind of surround yourself with people that are going to uplift you. I've got a lot of friends who are also actors, and they go through the same things. There's great moments and then there's really bad moments.
Right.
And it's all about how you react to them.
You used to work at the restaurant back in Ohio.
Yeah, I was stuck in the restaurant industry for 12 years.
So during the time, did you always have the desire that I want to get out of here and do whatever I want to do?
But I always wanted to do that, but I thought that LA was so far out of my reach that I couldn't do it. So I just needed to get over the fear of change.
Right.
I feel like everyone's scared to make a big change in their life, but when you do it, then boom, it opens up a world of new opportunities, and you can kind of do whatever you want. So once you get over that hurdle of I'm going to go for it and I'm not going to give up, then you've got nowhere to go but learning more.
Just do it. You just gotta do it.
Just how do you stay motivated?
To me, there is definitely always up and down. Sometimes we're busy getting booked for many jobs, sometimes nothing. It's so important for me to be productive, but at the same time, being in the right mindset, right energy level. Keep the balance all the time. Being productive, but also have the rest.
Yeah, you have to mentally be ready for the challenges ahead, or else you're not going to give it your 100%.
Right.
It's like you're sabotaging yourself if you're in a negative mindset.
Yeah, so of course negative thoughts comes to me sometimes. For example, when I'm not getting booked for anything for a few weeks, and I start thinking about what is going on in here, and it make me easily get into the negative thoughts.
Yeah, you're no one wants me. What am I doing?
Yeah, but so I have to remind myself it just happens.
Especially with commercials, because you could go in there and kill it and do a great job,
Right.
but you just don't look the part. Right?
Sometimes it's just you're too old, too young,
or you have brown hair or black hair.
Right.
So.
In Japan, not only in Japan, but a lot of people are stuck in one job and they have to work so hard overtime, but they don't get paid for what they deserve. And a lot of people ended up dying because of that. There is a word, karoshi, death by tiring.
Overworked. Overworked. You know what I would say to that is I felt very similar because when I worked in the restaurant industry, I was a restaurant manager and I worked 60-hour work weeks. So I'd go in really early and it's dark and I'd stay really late and it's dark and I'd go to sleep and I'd wake up the next day and I'd do the same exact thing. And I had my first panic attack in my life, when I was working in the restaurant industry, because I thought the harder I worked, the more money I would make and the more successful I would be. And that's true to an extent, but there's a cap, there's a limit to that. and I wasn't really like working for myself.
Yeah.
I was working for somebody else.
Yeah.
And I was working so hard to try to make like 25 cents or 50 cents more an hour, as opposed to, you know, oh, I'm going to work for myself and I'm going to have like limitless potential, and I'm going to be able to be creative and free and actually pursue my passion. I feel like the industry chose me. Like I wasn't passionate about it. And I know some people are actually passionate about it and still getting overworked. So I guess I would just say like work smarter, not harder.
Right.
If a company is not valuing what you feel like you're worth, don't be afraid to like knock on someone else's door. I feel like people just feel trapped because they don't know where to look, or they feel like they'll get in trouble. But I moved across the country and I didn't have a job at all. So I quit my salary position and I'm moving somewhere where I'm paying 10 times more rent than I paid back in Cincinnati when I had a salary job. So that alone is like a huge risk. But it's almost like a sink or swim situation. You get thrown into it and like you either fail or you succeed. And that's what's motivating. Like, I don't want to fail. Like the motivation to want to succeed, like that's what's motivating me. Even if you're working like a factory job and you feel like you're stuck there, there's factories all over the country. There's factories everywhere, and they're probably offering more. Or look into management, like leadership too. Like just do research and figure out like what your strong suit is and go for that. Because I understand feeling overworked, but if you ever get close to feeling like that, make a change. And it's going to help your mental state, because you want to be in the right mental state to be able to make the best decisions for yourself and your future.
Like to me, I spent my life as a hairstylist back in Japan, and I was working at the hair salon over 12 hours every single day, like 6 days a week. I was enjoying being a hairstylist, but it was just too much, right? I was working at the same hair salon for like 6-7 years, and during the time, it feels so guilty to quit.
Yeah, I know. Like you're like abandoning them, or you're like
I feel like I'm betraying them. So you naturally feel like it'll be wrong to be out of it.
But you have to do what's best for you at the end of the day. Change is scary though.
It's scary, but even though if you fail, it's gonna be good eventually. Because there is no life that is always good. There's always up and down, right? And also for human, it's natural to have a fear for change. It's definitely not the easiest thing to quit your company or your job, but sometimes
it's
you
needed.
have to.
Sometimes it doesn't work too. Sometimes people go somewhere else and they don't like it, and they just go back, and now they know they're at least happy, but at least they tried to do something else, right? Sometimes that reinvigorates their passion for their normal job because they see how terrible it was at the other job. So, I mean, there's all aspects behind it, but like I said, if it ever gets to a point to where you're like feeling like really down on yourself and you really need help, then you got to surround yourself with people that are going to be positive and support you. And at the same time, know your worth and know your value, and just put yourself in the best possible situation in order to be successful.
But at the same time, money itself doesn't make you truly happy.
Absolutely. Some people think it does, and that's why they work these really hard jobs in order just to make money, and then all of a sudden they make money, but they're still unhappy because they're working a job that makes them unhappy. So it's like you have to live your life also and make money at the same time, but like still have fun and still do what you want to do.
It's not like job has to be something that you have passion for. Job can be just a job, and you can still have like hobby or whatever you have passion for. Keep doing that. You know, that can be the way to live also, to be, make yourself happy.
Yeah. So now it's like, for me, it's exciting, but it's scary too, because I don't know how much I'm going to make, but I also don't know how much I'm going to make. Like that could be positive too. I could make like $1 million and I could make like nothing.
Yeah.
But I'm having fun doing it. So
that's the important part.
That's all that matters.
Focus on the process, not the result.
Yeah. Absolutely.